Hello, everybody. This is Anael Najera speaking, very far from you because the reason why it's all empty and stuff and I'm not here, yes, we all know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna clap so I can pop up and then I'll get started. Here we go. One, two, three. Here I am. Yes, just like what every YouTuber parody maker does in a Q&A. My most one that I like is James Prime 2798. That happened during my second Q&A, aka previously. Okay, here we go. So anyways, it's finally here. Q&A part 3. Yep, welcome back to Anael Najera's Q&A video. And I can't wait for all this to happen in the future, which will somehow happen right now. But anyways, we're gonna get this Q&A started right now, but before we do that, why don't you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then we'll find out soon. Okay, let me just crack on my arms. Just twist over my head. I like to stretch a lot before starting myself. Whew. Okay. Question number 1. Why is it says, why couldn't you use Megatron as Scar? Because, that was my only decision. Because, the reason why I had to use Sentinel Prime as Scar, because they both start with S, and Bumblebee versus Sentinel is a great conflict, because there was not enough, screen time conflict between Megatron and Bumblebee in the Transformers franchise. So that's why I had to use him. And yes, I'm using Sentinel Prime as Bumblebee's arch rival in my parodies. So I'm going to try to re-upload some Autobot King, the Lion King parts, because using the storage on Google Slides doesn't seem very often good. So that is why I had to combine videos on Characters 2, Cars 2, and Character Formers Revenge of the Zundap, which was finished a few days ago. Alright, the first question done. Now it's time for question number 2. Will I ever do a Monsters vs. Aliens parody? I don't think so, because maybe it could be copyrighted, and also, no one has made a parody of it yet. But I do know the cast of it. I'll be using Lucy Wilde as Susan Murphy, RC as Susan Murphy, aka Ginormica, Mario as Dr. Cockroach, Sonic the Hedgehog as Missing Link, Lightning McQueen as Bob, and Gordon the Big Engine as Insectosaurus. And yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. I don't know who should be General Monger or Captain Galaxar, but I won't be doing it. Yeah, like I said before, the Despicable Me parody has been cancelled due to copyright. And yeah, that's all. Never mind then. Let's just get back where we were. Alright. Oh yeah, and before I get to the third question, I just want to say, one time when I was reacting to James Prime 2798's Q&A, I saw him drinking lemonade soda, and it was so satisfying. I want to try to drink Sprites during Q&A, but I didn't have any in the fridge. So, yeah. I mean, if I could drink Sprite in the next Q&A, but it's a secret, just wait until the end, okay? Alright. Question number 4. Oh, wait, number 3. Yeah, number 3. Number 3. Let me snap it up. Just to snap to have this sentence to pop up. And here it is. Will I ever do a version 2 parody of Character Formers characters, cars, and cool story, Toy Story. Yes, I think I've already worked on the cast videos already. I'll try to upload them soon. Okay, let's start with Character Formers version 2. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do a double because of a parody this year because they're 3 hour movies and they're extreme, intense, hard. I'll try to find out and see. But I already got the cast for the rolling of the characters. I'll be using Sonic the Hedgehog as Optimus Prime, Miles Tails Prower as Bumblebee, Red from Angry Birds as Ratchet, Knuckles as Ironhide, Anakin Skywalker as Jazz, Shadow the Hedgehog as Megatron, Jet the Hawk as Starscream, Theodore William Barker from Sonic Boom as Barricade, Professor Zundap as Frenzy, Ned and Zed as Blackout and Brawl, Diesel 10 as Bone Crusher, Alfredo Linguini as Sam Witwicky, Cola as Michaela Bynes, Hector Rivera as Ron Witwicky, Mama Imelda as Judy Witwicky, and so on and so on. Alright, now it's time to find out who I'm using for my version 2 parody of characters cars. I'll be using Sonic the Hedgehog as Lightning McQueen, Miles Tails Prower as Tomater, Amy Rose as Sally Carrera, Vitruvius as Doc Hudson, Bumblebee as Ramon, RC as Flo, Red from Angry Birds as Sheriff, Thomas and Percy as Luigi and Guido, Knuckles as Sarge. I'm keeping Henry as Fillmore and Molly as Lizzie, but I'll use Cuphead as Red, and so on and so on. Okay, now for my Cool Story Toy Story version 2, I'll be using Sonic the Hedgehog as Woody, Miles Tails Prower as Buzz Lightyear, Red from Angry Birds as Ham, Bumblebee as Rex, Hiro Hamada as Mr. Potato Head, Junior from Storks as Slinky Dog, Amy Rose as Bo Peep, Gru from Despicable Me as Sarge, Minions as the Sarge's Soldiers, and I'm keeping Julian Clifton as Andy Davis and Syndrome as Sid Phillips, and also, oh yeah, and Zoe as from Sonic Boom as Jessie. And the rest will be and while I upload them. And yeah, about that post that I send, the voting, someone wanted me to use Thomas the Tank Engine as Optimus Prime, Lightning McQueen, and Woody, all three of them. But ever since I was still a Sonic fan, thanks to the third film, I had to use Sonic the Hedgehog as Optimus Prime, Woody, and Lightning McQueen. Okay, now on to question number 4. Okay, who's your favorite character from Sonic the Hedgehog? It's Sonic. You know him, the blue hedgehog of all time. I mentioned him a lot of times ever since I've already did once before. Well, let's talk about his plot of how he did. Remember when I talked about Bumblebee and Optimus Prime as my favorite characters? Okay, so when Sonic was little, he had a lot of fun out there as a child, and he had his adopted, I don't know how to pronounce it, but adopted mother named Longclaw. And when they had a little talk, an Echidna tribe had came in, and it was an ambush, a trap. So Longclaw had to take Sonic all alone to a country, or a place called Green Hill. A few years later, when Sonic was grown up, he really enjoyed it, especially when he carries the turtle running really fast. And he met some humans too. His first one that he he liked was the Donut Lord, aka Tom Wachowski. Sonic wanted to do another fun time out here, like for real. He wanted to play baseball, and he did it all night and all alone. It was kind of sad. So he was running too fast and then exploded and then cut the power out. And then so the military and the SWAT arrived in the morning, and then in comes Sonic's arch rival, the evil Dr. Robotnik. And while Sonic was about to get himself ready to go to Mushroom Land, he met Tom. Sonic was like, meow? And then Tom screamed, and then Sonic screamed too, and then he tranquilized him in the leg, and then Sonic fainted. And a few hours later, Tom just put Sonic in a cage, and after Sonic woke up, Tom was like, "You can talk," and Sonic was like, where's my rings? Where'd my rings go? And he left them in San Francisco. So they took a long ride to get there to the government, but they ended up in a roadhouse, and it was crazy. Tom told Sonic that he had a bucket list to do before he left Green Hills. Sonic was worried, and he was like, "What? You're leaving Green Hills?" And like, Green Hills has a ton of people out there. And they were chased by Eggman, and then after that, Sonic got into a coma after a little device, a little egg drone came in and blew up, and Sonic's shoes were burned. After Tom arrived to Sonic's, sorry, I was a little bit reversed today. Sorry guys, I can't talk today. After Tom arrived to Rachel's house, Rachel didn't want him to come in, but Maddie did. Well, Sonic woke up again, and then he found Maddie, which he called him the Pretzel Lady. Jojo just gave Sonic new shoes, which were red ones. It was pretty cool, and now Sonic, Tom, and Maddie, all three of them had to go find Sonic's rings so he can get to Mushroom Land until Eggman came and the chase was on. And then Sonic blew up from Eggman's lasers and then got into another coma. Tom was worried, and he had to fight back against Eggman, and then Sonic was all electric. And then after that, Tom threw the ring to send Eggman to Mushroom Land instead of Sonic, so Sonic was like, boom, and then blasts Eggman, zooming into Mushroom Land, never found again. After the war was over, Sonic won, and he finally got himself a high five with Tom. That's why Tom and Sonic are a great duo between an alien and a human. After that, Green Hills was all peace again, and yeah. Now let's talk about the second plot. Sonic was on his justice for Blue. Get it? He was like, Blue Justice. And he was so good at it. But he had to spend another time with Tom at fishing. And I like the confessions. While Sonic was all home alone, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, even though in December. But anyways, let me just speak out once clearly, and when I'm ready, I'll take a peek. After Sonic sent Tom and Maddie to Hawaii for Rachel's wedding, Sonic and Eggman were reunited, but didn't get along very well because Sonic was being insulted and attacked by the new character Knuckles. And then after Sonic tried to ask Knuckles why he's here and why what he wants until he met Tails, because Tails was trying to find Sonic to warn him because Knuckles was on his trail. And so Sonic and Tails had to go on a mission to find the Master Emerald. It went all by and lots of chaos and battles were on. But until that, there was an avalanche in the snow, and then Sonic and Tails had to escape, and they did until they got arrested, including Tom. So Maddie and Rachel had to save them, and they did. But Sonic had to go all alone against Knuckles and Eggman because he didn't want his friends to get hurt. So then Sonic and Knuckles fight each other until Eggman sneak into to get the Master Emerald and betray Knuckles. Sonic saved Knuckles from the water but drowned, but Knuckles saved him too. They both got a little confession about friends, and they both became friends. And so began the War of Green Hills the second time. So Sonic, Tails, Knuckles fought the giant egg Robo, and they were all smoked up around the smithereens. Tom and Maddie are with him, and Sonic tried to find the Master Emerald until it was shattered to little pieces and brights of colors: red, green, cyan, purple, blue, and white. I don't know. Oh yeah, there's seven. I know there's seven of them. There's seven emeralds until they combine back into Sonic's chest to become Super Sonic and defeated the giant egg Robo. After that, they all had a fun time at baseball. And Sonic had called Tom Dad. And it was pretty charming. Alright, now we're on. Ever since the third film is in Paramount Plus, let's talk about it now. Sonic and Tails and Knuckles were racing through Green Hills. And then after that, they finished. And then Sonic shows Tom his old cave and his picture of him and Longclaw. Tom told Sonic, you need to change the pain. You can change I'm gonna say, you can change the pain of who you are in here. And Sonic was like, oh, my lungs? And Tom said, no, I mean your heart. And yeah, that was pretty good for me. Until director Rockwell, the agent of GUN, which I can't say it because YouTube might hear it, assigned Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on a mission at Tokyo, Japan, because there was a new challenger and a new character came in, which is Shadow the Hedgehog. And so Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles arrived to Tokyo, and when they did, their fight with Shadow was very quick until Sonic had to do it all alone again. And yes, the chase was on, and then after that, Sonic was stuck in the middle of a top building with a chain. But it was yellow, which was Tails', but Tails didn't even do it at all. They arrived to the CHAO Garden restaurant, and they met up with Commander Walters, and then after they had a talk with about Shadow's story, egg drones came in, blew it up, and then Commander Walters was destroyed, which I can't say the D word. That rhymes with bread and dread. But anyways, they realized that one of the agents was riding a motorbike, and they followed him to the sea. And then after the agent took his helmet off, it was Agent Stone. And then Knuckles was like, it's the Go-Milka! It's the Go-Milka! And Agent Stone told him that he doesn't want to fight because he needs to to tell him why the egg drones were not Eggman's at all, because it was someone else's. So Sonic and Eggman team up to find out who is behind all this, and it was Gerald Robotnik. And they all got caught, but Eggman was set free, and Agent Stone too. So Sonic, Tails, Knuckles were tied up in a boulder pillar, and then they were about to be sucked up in a black hole until Knuckles just saves them again by putting a ring, and then they were okay. So they had to send Tom and Maddie on a mission in London, England. So everything went all through until director Rockwell came in, and then they all got into a big war. Tom got the key first, and then because he was disguised as Commander Walters, but he forgot to turn back into himself again, because he was staying as Commander Walters until Shadow punches Tom and then got himself to a coma. Sonic was worried and wanted revenge on Shadow because he needed the Master Emerald, and Knuckles didn't want him to get it because. And after that, Knuckles told him where it is, and it was Wade Whipple. He had the Master Emerald, and Sonic took it from him. And then, yeah, Super Sonic came back, which was very exciting. After that, Sonic fought Shadow, but Shadow became Super Shadow. Shadow mentioned Tom, and then Sonic was furious, and he was about to finish Shadow until he remembered about Tom telling him about who he is in his heart. Sonic realized that he didn't want to do it. He was worried, and his power super form went off and sat in the moon. And then Sonic and Shadow had a little confession, and then they decided to team up and defeat Gerald Robotnik. They were holding tight to the laser until Sonic was the first one to get back to Earth, but fainted. Tails tried to save him, but also fainted. Knuckles saved them, but for Shadow and Eggman, they sacrificed themselves to save the world, which was kind of sad. After the war was over, Sonic apologized to Tails and Knuckles for betraying them, and he wanted to be forgiven. And so Sonic hugged Knuckles and said, "How about just team?" And so a few days or months or weeks later, they had another camp season and they were ready to race again. But what happened in the mid credit? I mean, I was super hyped that Amy Rose is coming. And yeah, but how did Sonic got lost in New York, America? Did he just travel to the future? Because that is really, really mysteriously, secretly most understandable. And yes, Metal Sonic is coming. And I can't wait for the fourth film to come in. Okay, that's a lot of talking of Sonic's plots so whatever you call it, the summary of the films. 1, 2, 3. And now I just want to tell you that I only used Sonic one time in my parody. I used him as Francesco in my Cars 2 parody. And yet to come, he'll be playing as Bertie the Bus in my Thomas and the Magic Railroad parody. And yeah, that could be it for this year. Yeah, I like Sonic, and I also like Tails too. He's also my second favorite. So Tails was here to warn Sonic, because the reason why he found him, because he saw his energy blast at the baseball field, and he's been watching him the whole time. And yes, And what's the most awesome thing that I like for Tails, he and Agent Stone were talking. Because I'm wishing for Agent Stone to be in the Tails series because he called him adorable, which was cute. And yes, I love the way how they scream when they both got jump scared by Shadow. And I hope I'm gonna try to make a post soon. Share this post if you. And yes, I only used Tails one time in my parody. I used him as himself or an extra in my Cars 2 parody for Francesco Bernoulli. And yet to come, he'll be playing as Harold the Helicopter in my Thomas and the Magic Railroad parody. Alright. Now, on to the final question. Question number 5. Favorite Decepticon and Transformers is Megatron. He's the leader of the Decepticons and the main villain / antagonist of the film and TV shows, such as Transformers G1, Transformers live actions, Transformers animated, Transformers Prime, Transformers War of Cybertron trilogy, and others. So he was a Cybertronian jet in the first film, a Cybertronian tank in the second film, a semi-truck flatbed in the third film, a freight liner in the fourth film, a Cybertronian jet in the fifth film, a tank in the story film Transformers 1, a helicopter in Transformers Animated, a blaster in G1. So in the first film, he crash landed in the Arctic Circle, from where Sam told about his grandfather, great-great-grandfather, Captain Archibald Witwicky. He found him, and the coordinates on the cube's location, the Allspark, was printed on the glasses. And after that, Megatron was frozen, and he escaped Sector 7's base, and he tried to find the Allspark, and he found it, fought Prime, and got destroyed by Sam by using the Allspark, and it was sent to the ocean. I still don't remember what the deepest ocean was. Let me know in the comments, what is the deepest ocean that Megatron was sent. In the second film, while he was in the ocean, the Constructicons and the Insecticons found him, brought him back, and then Megatron went to space, and he had a talk with the Fallen. In the third movie, he makes a deal with Sentinel Prime, but he lied and got mad and called for a truce to Optimus, but decapitated him. Optimus decapitated Megatron after Megatron asks him who would he be without him. He did appear in the fourth film, which he meant to be known as Galvatron. He fought Optimus, but he left after Optimus won the war. In the fifth film, he came back to being Megatron, which didn't make any sense. He did not appear in Bumblebee or Rise of the Beasts, but he finally got himself an appearance in a new movie, Transformers 1. He was known as D16, but I don't get it. In Transformers Prime, his original name was Megatronus, but it was already taken. So he and Orion Pax were brothers, and yeah. So Orion asks D to be in the race, but D doesn't want to. And after that, they were sentenced to sub-level 50 and met B. I already said that about Optimus Prime's plot back in previous Q&A, but I'm not gonna talk about that. So after they met Alpha Trion told Optimus, Orion, D B-127 and Alita about Megatron's betrayal. I mean, Sentinel's betrayal. Sorry. I just can't talk today, y'all. I know I'm stressed out a little bit, but that's all I can think of. Anyways, as I was saying, let me cut myself one bit. Cut 'em to one side. Okay. Well, 3, 2, 1. So Alpha Trion told Orion, D, B-127, and Alita about Sentinel's betrayal, and D was furious. He wanted Sentinel to be suffered in darkness, but he knows that they're just minors, and they don't have the C word in their chest. I don't know if I'm gonna say it because it might be copyrighted. So Alpha Trion gave them some transformation C's. And yes, they can transform. D was excited and he liked it. And he feels like he wants to destroy Sentinel after they got caught by the High Guard, known as Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave. D fought him, and then his eyes turned orange. And he was ready to destroy Sentinel once and for all. But during the Battle of Iacon, D was going to shoot Sentinel, but instead accidentally shot Orion. And then his eyes turned red, and then let goes of Orion, and then ripped Sentinel in two. He got the jazz treatment, y'all. Sentinel got the jazz treatment. After that, D16 became Megatron by using Megatronus Prime's as a transformation seed. And then he realized that Orion was still alive and became Optimus Prime. And the reason why Megatron fought him because he really wanted the Matrix, the leadership. But after the battle, Optimus banished Megatron because he didn't want him to cause any more chaos and destruction. It didn't have to end this way. And yes, that is all I'm gonna say for Megatron's plots for the extra for Transformers 1. And I haven't used Megatron in my parodies, but I'm gonna use him as. And yes, tomorrow I'll use him as Stinky Pete in my Toy Story 2 parody. But anyways, yes, that's all I have to say. That's all the questions for my Q&A. And thank you for all your support. Alright, so that's all the questions. That's all 5 of them. Hopefully more will coming soon. And also, for my 4th Q&A, hopefully we can reach 400 subscribers one day. Alright, that is all for today, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And tomorrow is Cool Story 2, Toy Story 2. This is Anael Najera signing off. Peace out, everyone. Bye, y'all.